lot of people are concerned with overeating or eating when, emotionally, and lots of different reasons. And there's lots of different kinds of hunger, actually. And most of them, majority of the reasons for hunger are psychological or emotional. So one of the brain training techniques that I have is called the hunger scale. And that's where you rate your hunger on a scale of 0 to 10. And then you wait to eat until you're at a 7. And you'll know you're at a 7 because you'll actually feel it in your stomach. Either it's a growl or hunger pangs, but you'll feel it physically instead of just emotionally, because emotional hunger won't actually register at a 7. And when you stop and think, which is half the purpose of the technique, is just stop and think, and that puts you in your PFC, your rational brain, then you can kind of look at it from a more logical perspective, kind of the outside looking in. And if it's not at a 7 yet, then it's probably more emotional than physical. And if it is physical at a 5 or a 6, you don't need to eat right then, because hunger is actually good. It's healthy to be hungry. And when you are hungry, your body's detoxing. And so that's a good thing. And here in America, we rarely let ourselves get hungry. And we should, because up until about 50 years ago, we got hungry. And that's a healthy thing. And so, and 50 years and to however many years you think humans have been on the earth, it's a long time. And that whole other time, people got hungry. So it's okay. It's okay. And to let yourself be hungry. But rating 0 to 10, eat at a 7, and then stop when you're at a 4. So you're still hungry. You're not really hungry. You're just kind of hungry. Because when you stop at that 4, about 20 minutes later, you'll be at a 2 or a 3, which is satisfied and not hungry. Because it takes about that long for the hunger mechanism to register. And the deep dive on this is one of the brain training techniques that is found in the brain type test. And 4 of the 16 brain types have this in their top 6. Not to say it won't work for other brain types, but there's dozens of brain type exercises on there. And so the way to find out, of course, is to go to braintype.me, braintype.me, and find out your top 6 superpowers and your best brain hacks that'll be picked for you based on your brain type. But regardless, try this and see if it works. And no matter what your brain type is, it probably will. It just will be on a scale of really effective or kind of effective based on your brain type. But it's worth a try, why not? And it could be one of your superpowers to hack the hunger thing and make it so it's real instead of emotional, and necessary instead of unnecessary to eat. And sometimes, especially when people get really hungry, they'll get hangry, is what a lot of people call it, where they'll get angry or impatient or irritable. And that is the emotional aspect to hunger, because we're rarely truly that hungry physically. And so then a way to hack that is to do breathing exercises. My favorite breathing exercise to calm down and get rid of your emotion is the square breathing. When you breathe into 4 counts, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, rinse and repeat. And it only takes a few cycles to calm down. And another is the EFT technique, the tapping technique, and that one can be learned at bit.ly/PJ tapping. So those are some hacks on hangry. And then once you've done those techniques to calm down, then you can go to this hunger scale technique, because you've gotten most of the emotion out of it now. And you might truly be a 7 or higher. And then it's time to eat, but maybe not. So maybe you can kind of double up on these techniques and hit the EFT, and then the hunger scale technique for a 1-2 punch. A big aspect of it is caused by sugar, a sugar low. So keto people are fat burners, they call them fat adapted, where they eat really low carb, no sugar, and so their body is using fat for fuel, and so they don't have the highs and lows of that sugar, ups and downs. But when you've got that really low sugar down in that valley, then that often causes emotional reaction and people will get hangry. So those people that get hangry often would be well advised to start tapering down on their carbs and their sugar, mostly sugar and then starch, because the body turns starch into sugar. But then as people get off of that, then they get less hangry with those ups and downs, because true keto people rarely get hangry. They'll go up to a 6 or a 7 sometimes, but it's not a hangry thing. It's like, wow, I'm hungry, but it's not an emotional issue because the sugar isn't involved. And then a lot of times they'll stay at a 7, like they're too busy maybe to eat, or they're intermittent fasting, or they're just doing a full fast. And then it'll pass. So it won't stay at a 7, it'll go back down, where a sugar burner will certainly stay at that 7. It won't go back down. It'll just keep going up and they'll just keep getting hangrier. So that would be another hack, is just to really start cranking that sugar down.